I want to know what Matt and Tim from Tactical Bassin are really excited about this year at ICAST 2025. This is Tackle Warehouse and Tactical Bassin with Matt and Tim. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely, thanks for having us.
I'm Joey. That's Jake.
Yes.
And we got all this great stuff. Some of the stuff you guys are most excited about at the show, and we're gonna run through it all. Isn't that right?
Let's do it.
All right, let's start it off with baits. We got a Rapala Claptail. We got some really exciting topwater this year at the show. So tell us all about that one.
Let's see that. Kicking this thing off, this is the Rapala Claptail, and what we've got here is a plopping style bait. That revolving tail, churning up that water, giving a very unique sound profile, but we've also got this blade on it that's banging into that tail, and you get the combination of that plopping sound with that squeaky buzzbait sound, and it is a very interesting profile. It gets a very impressive response from the fish. It's one of the baits that I'm most excited about from ICAST because it's a category that's got a lot of baits in it, but it's a category that's developing. We're seeing more and more of those plopping style baits. This one took it to a whole different place with a whole different sound profile, and the fish are responding to it.
Yeah, you're basically combining two of the best sounding topwaters out there, the whopper plopper sound with that squeaky buzz bait, adding some flash, adding some vibration. Excited to throw that thing around.
Yeah, I want to try that thing out because I thought it was really going to be like, more like a two-tone knocking style bait. I didn't know it had that high pitch of a noise. I haven't got to fish it yet, but you guys got to throw it a few times.
Yeah.
And like you said, this isn't the only noisy plopping style bait that's being unveiled this year. I know Strike King's got one.
Yep.
I think there's a couple of others, which tells me that there's probably a lot of pros that are making this in their garage, going back to their sponsors and saying, you got to make my secret here.
Right.
So I'm definitely going to be picking up several of these and several of the baits in the category to see which one is my favorite. Really cool. All right, moving along. Let's, I don't know, what do you want to talk about? Let's talk about some fuzzy stuff. Take us through the Yamamoto stuff.
There is a lot of, I'm just going to start handing it to you, Tim.
The year of the fuzz.
The year of the fuzz.
Yeah, we got some stuff.
This really kicked off, I think, last year with you had the dice kind of exploding, right? And just the appendages. And then we had some tournaments won in the last year or two with people we shot videos on how to customize your own stick baits and put some skirt material in there. But this year, there's quite a few different little fuzzy baits from different brands. So Yamamoto, they have 4 or 5 different little fuzzy baits. The Senko, the 4 and the 5-inch Senko. So you guys know how much the Senko gets bit, but now adding some appendages on that, all the way. They got the little Yamamoto Nuki right there with some fuzz, and this little guy right here, that's called the fuzzy nut, little peanut. And I guess they made this specifically the length, perfect for fitting like your favorite tungsten nail weight. So you could add some weight to it, but having a little chunk with a little bit of fuzz. I mean, these fish have seen a lot of things, but they haven't seen this. So this is pretty cool. But there's a lot of appendages going around ICAST this year.
You know what? There are a lot of baits on the market right now in categories that I personally don't have a ton of experience with. The fuzzy stuff is one of them. How are you guys typically rigging? Are you just fishing the Senko like a regular Senko?
Yeah, like a Nico rig, a Senko, wacky rig.
Yeah.
Just having that extra secondary movement is what's key with these.
Right.
And I found drop shotting a lot of the fuzzy stuff too is a major deal.
Sure. And major smallmouth players we know. What about spots and large?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I think it's cool too that there's a bunch more companies getting into the fuzzy bait category. One, they're hard to get, and two, a lot of them are really expensive, especially the JDM brands. And like you guys are saying, you're teaching people how to make their own. And now us lazy anglers cannot have to make their own. There's more.
Yeah, it was a
options
tedious
out there.
process, taking threading each of those strands through and cutting and trimming them. And now you do. I mean, Z-Man, Big Bite. There's a handful of companies now that are releasing fuzzy baits pre-rigged, so you don't have to sit there in your garage and thread skirt material. Pretty cool.
So you guys think tight lines is just like Come on, guys. We've been here for 20 years.
Where were the rest of you for a decade?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you picked up the Z-Man. Let's move over to that when we can bounce back to Yamamoto. So Z-Man does have some entries into the fuzzy category.
Yeah,
What's
this
going
is
on
their
there?
fuzzy Bugz. They've got 3 entries in the category as well. This
Yeah,
is
your
just
favorite
one of them.
Ned Rig TRD, right?
Yeah.
Elastec with the appendages.
And the interesting thing with Z-Man, I mean, Elastec, you've got floating plastics, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
you've got
Right.
a lot of options with how you're going to fish that thing. Whether you're going to try to get it to slow fall, whether you're going to drop shot that thing and let it set up in the water column, whether you're going to do like a micro little Ned thing. I mean, you've got a lot of options there.
And what is that? Just silicone skirting material through there? It can't be because it would melt.
It would melt with.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
they
sure
did
about
about
that.
that.
I
With
didn't
the
even think about
Elastec,
that.
I'm not sure how
They
they.
got special skirt, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're
interesting.
doing to make
I'm
it
sure
not
they
react.
figured it out because it's not
It's
melting.
working.
Yeah.
Right. But so yeah, interesting from both Yamamoto and Z-Man, some of the fuzzy stuff there. Let's bounce back to Yamamoto. Tell us about this new minnow they got.
So this is an interesting one. It's not a bait that I've had in the water. It's just one that caught the eye. They're calling that the Hinge minnow. It's got a hinge in it. I mean, that's the first thing that you see, but it's also got way more material. Like it's almost like a long fin all the way down the entire back of the bait. It's definitely going to catch water as that thing is trying to roll. It's a really interesting bait. Probably the biggest standout is the size. We're starting at this show to see a lot of companies offering larger minnow type baits. In the last year or two, we saw a lot of the like 3.5 to 4.5 inch size stuff, and all of a sudden we're seeing more 5s, 6s, or bigger. That trend is definitely happening.
And why is that? Is that a profile, a drawing power, a match the hatch, something different, all of the above?
All of the
Yeah.
above. I mean, speaking where we live, it's a matching a profile, right?
Yeah.
Those fish are chasing bigger bait fish, chasing gizzard shad, big thread fins. We weren't imitating. I mean, anytime a trend kicks off, right? The minnow kicks off. They've never seen it. They're going to eat it, even if it's not quite matching
Perfect.
what they're used to. But now that they're seeing minnows, now you're starting to need to match what they're really eating better and better. And it's good to see more options coming because I think everybody's throwing a minnow to some degree. Some people are throwing it exclusively, being able to get dialed into what the bait fish you're imitating really look like.
Sure.
We need that option.
Yeah, different sizes, different actions, different profiles.
Yeah.
And something we talked about earlier, what about umbrella rigs when it started? Remember how ugly the first umbrella rigs were?
geez.
And you can get bit, and look how they've evolved now. And
Yeah.
you really have to be dialed into the exact size of bait fish, blades, all that stuff to get bites on them.
They learn quickly. They
sure do.
adapt.
So it'll be really interesting to me to actually get this thing in the water because if you think about the rolling action, that's not necessarily in my mind conducive to the action of this joint.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how that tail action interacts with the rolling action of the minnow.
I'm excited to throw that one as like a fluke, like a
Oh,
just
for
a-
sure.
I think with that the wing on the back and that hinged tail, I think it's going to have some real erratic action, and I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to throwing that.
Yeah, me as well. And with the, just seeing like product images of it, not being able to see it, in your hand, you don't really notice that
ridge.
fin when
Yeah.
you're looking at it. And it's just something that you can't actually see that on the bait until you actually get one in your hand and check it out.
Right.
Enough on a minnow. Can we move on?
I think we can.
All right. We didn't actually talk about the uni, the Yamamoto Uni. I think we were talking about the rest of the fuzzy stuff.
It's an interesting one.
But urchin style fuzzy thing. I think it's a little stretchier plastic than your normal.
It's a very interesting material. It's a very, normally a Senko, you get a bite or 2 or 3 on a Senko, they're trash. This thing feels like it's going to take a beating all day.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
made out of a
Right.
much stiffer material.
Have you guys played with this style bait much?
This style
Yes.
of bait,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This one, not yet.
And are you guys rigging them in like with the big rig, like the Ryugi type
drop
of-
shotting them.
You're drop shotting
And
them.
it works.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's say one thing I did read on that one, early product information. Those bulbs on the end are supposed to get you some more action on there versus
Makes
like your
sense.
just standard skirt.
Yep.
So something a little different.
Yeah.
It's a good size too, right? This is a lot smaller than some of the other baits that I've
Right.
been throwing.
Right.
I think this is a good option.
Interesting. What do you think the fish think it is?
No clue.
No clue. It's going in their mouth because that's how they find out what things are.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can see on the scope when that thing goes down on a school that they're reacting to that in a way that tells me that they haven't seen a lot of them
seen it before,
at
right.
our lakes. So, you know, whether or not you get the bite, you're seeing those fish like, whoa, what is that?
What
right?
is it?
Right.
Yeah.
So really interesting. Another addition into this category. Also, you got to be careful with this plastic. I have melted several like $18 baits already by throwing them on the carpet with the rest of my plastic. So beware.
Does it melt into the carpet too? Stuck there forever?
Yeah, my boat's a disaster. My mechanic always tells me my boat has more snacks in the crevices than any boat he's ever seen,
Nice.
and I can't blame that on my kids. Let's get away from this. This is embarrassing for me. Let's go back to Z-Man. Now, I actually got a chance to throw this little bait. It's really cool. Tell us all about the brand new Swag LT.
Yeah, that's a cool swim bait. Basically, it's a line through top hook or a line through bottom belly treble hook. It's a what do you want to call that tail? It's almost like a
It's like a hybrid.
Totally.
combination tail. Again, Z-Man, Elastec. It's going to last a long time. Super durable. It sounds like this bait has been in design for a couple of years, but having the line through availability on the top or the bottom of this bait is what makes it unique. And I'm excited to throw this around grass lines, heavy cover. But yeah, I'm really excited. It comes in 2 sizes. Matt's
Yeah,
holding the
there's the
smaller
5-inch.
size. But you
That's
said you
the
got a
6.
chance to play with this? You got a chance to fish this one?
I did. Did you throw this
I didn't
this
get
morning?
to throw it.
Oh, just me. Cool.
Yeah. You're special.
So, what I was really impressed with, I made a cast, and Glenn from Z-Man goes, turn the handle as fast as you can, and I did, and this thing
Didn't blow out?
didn't blow out, which, given the plastic material, given how light it is, I really expected it to roll, to blow out, etc. And it's extremely steady on a fast retrieve. On the flip side, and granted, it's probably 90-degree water temp, but I was barely turning the handle, and that thing was blub, 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 blub. So extremely versatile in terms of retrieve speed, which is really awesome. You can rig 2 different ways, as you said. It's line through. That bait is going to get away from the hook, keep that fish pinned. Obviously, a lot of thought went into this one.
Yeah, and most swim baits, you only get one or the other. You only get slow or fast. You usually don't get
get
both
all
in
of
them.
it.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So-
and I mean, we've seen the success with Mulletron. We've seen the success with Shadtron.
Shadtron.
We've caught a lot of bass on both of those baits that weren't necessarily designed for the bass category, but they work well.
Yep.
Now we've got a bait where your color patterns and your profile is a perfect matchup. I think that's going to be a really fun one.
Yep. Really cool. So that's the Swag. What,
Swag
why are they
sizes.
calling it Swag? Do you know?
I have no idea.
All right.
Maybe they're going to call it the swag tail. I don't know.
We'll
but
figure it
ROF 9, so rate of fall 9, 5-inch, a little bit bigger, 6-inch.
Okay.
But yeah,
Interesting. A lot of thought and development obviously went into this, or it's not going to perform like it does. We got one more Z-Man item.
Oh, dude,
Right?
it's a
Oh,
good one.
yeah.
this one I'm really excited about. You guys know that the whole bait finesse or BFS category has just exploded over the last few years. And we all love throwing a chatterbait. So now Z-Man has the Micro Max. Basically, a bladed jig, a chatterbait for your bait finesse rods. Light line, smaller profile, smaller blade. I'm really excited to fish this thing.
I got to throw it this
I
morning.
see a bunch of
Yeah, you can throw that one too. But it's cool that Z-Man's doing this because it's just filling out that entire lineup
whole line.
of vibrating jigs now. Because I mean, we've gotten the Elite Evo Mini Max. We've got the Baby Jacks now. Like they've
With
got
the
the
big
whole
blade.
range.
We got, and I want to touch on Big Blade because I don't actually see, people got really excited about it. I think they threw it probably in the wrong conditions, didn't catch anything, and have put it down. For me, that Big Blade, I'm still catching really big ones in select circumstances with that Big Blade.
You can tell us what those are?
Yeah, we're listening.
Yeah, it's,
we're here.
I mean,
Taking
it's low
notes.
light, it's heavy cover, it's dirty water, right? That's when I'm throwing that thing. And when the fish want that really big profile, and man, they smash it.
Yeah, with there's not much pressure on the water these days, having a bait that has a little bit less vibration or a lot more vibration, just being a little bit different, goes a long way right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we look at their other whatever it was, the original micro chatterbait or whatever I can't remember the name. The hook wasn't really going to stand up to even a
Larger
decent
fish,
sized bass. The hardware, I just didn't trust it. And I threw this one this morning, runs straight as an arrow. Looks really good, feels really good. You get that good chatterbait
It
feedback.
feels really good.
And you can certainly throw this on 10 or 12 pound test, not have to worry about bending out your hook or your hardware. So really cool. And like you said, now we have,
Any size chatterbait you want.
How many, you search chatterbait on Tackle Warehouse,
It's going to be a few.
you're going to get a few, you're going to sort through a few. They've got an option for everything. So
which is awesome.
really cool. Let's do something totally different. Let's talk about Daiwa reels. Can we do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start with casting. Here you go.
Start passing them out here. What do we got? What do we got?
Pick one. Let's talk about the
you go.
Tatula
Trade
first. All right.
The Tatula.
So we have another Tatula,
Yep.
right? There are a ton of Tatulas, but they're all whether it's size differentiation or
Different spools.
right. So what you got here, guys?
That's a new Tatula X. Basically, now that is
That's your
entry
price point to enter.
to get into that whole Tatula line.
Yep.
So you got the external drag system. It's not going to break the bank, but it's a high quality reel, and it feels really good in the hand. I've been really impressed with it. It's just buttery smooth.
Yep.
It's got that LC spool in it, so long casting spool, so you'll be able to make plenty long casts, holds a ton of line. So probably wouldn't throw like 25 or nothing on it, but just about everything else,
Sure.
you're just fine with it.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you guys have full in-depth videos on each of these reel products.
Totally.
We're not going to go too in-depth on them.
Nope.
The next one up, I'm really excited to play with. This is the Coastal by Daiwa. It's an inshore reel. You can throw it in and around saltwater. So if you're a tidal guy, if you're on the Delta or you're fishing some inshore stuff and you need a 200 size reel, it's got an oversized handle. But again, this thing's not going to break down in the saltwater. But again, just like that Tatula X, it feels really smooth. And if you're a guy that's wanting to throw swim baits, A-rigs, bigger stuff, that 200 size reel is kind of like that lost size in reels these days. Everybody's making like a 150 or a 70, but there are certain applications where you want that true 200 size. And this thing feels really good.
I'm a guy that still throws a lot of 20 and 22 and sometimes even 25 pound fluorocarbon straight
Big
full
line.
spool,
Yeah.
and you gotta have a deep 200
Larger
size.
capacity.
Well, you were gonna say something. So.
I don't know if we're the only ones. Like, we dabble more and more in that inshore thing, and I find that I'm bringing so much of that back to bass. Like, just because reels that are built for inshore, they're built tough.
Yeah.
Like, they will take a beating. Like
yeah.
Tim said,
Yeah.
an A-rig, your big spoons, your swim baits, because we grew up throwing swim baits on 300s and 400s, right? But a lot of those mid-sized glides now, a lot of that is being done on 200 size reels. It's a different game now. Lighter hooks, still a heavy bait though, where you need a strong reel. And you can take those inshore reels, squeak them into bass, and you've got very strong reels that perfectly fit that category.
Yeah,
And
it's awesome.
It's cool looking too.
Yeah, it is
I
cool
like that
looking.
blue.
This is my favorite handle that Daiwa's ever made. It's with the knob shape and a big 100mm handle.
Yep.
But on these Daiwas, especially these 200 size, I think a lot of people don't realize, which I just found out this year, like a Daiwa 200 is actually equivalent to like a 250 in a lot of other reels. So if you look at like line capacities, I think it fits like that 6-7 inch swim bait category really, really well. When almost, there's a lot of times when a 300 is just too much.
Yeah.
So it's a good sweet spot reel.
Sure. So, comparable to other freshwater specific reels of this size, you're going to be sacrificing a little bit on the weight side. Right. Personally, I'm not overly concerned about the lightest reel. I'm concerned about performance and durability, and that's what you're going to get from
What
this guy.
I've found with some of the heavier reels, typically you're throwing on a lot larger rod.
Yeah, it doesn't
and you
matter.
want that counterbalance. You want that. If you find a reel that's a little bit heavier, the whole combo actually feels it's lighter and it
It
feels
sits
lighter in the
better
hand
in the
because
hand.
it feels balanced, not tip
Right.
heavy or butt heavy. But
You're
yeah.
totally right. You can have a lighter by weight combo that if it's out of balance,
Feel heavy.
It feels heavy
Yeah.
in the hand.
One more there. The
Aired.
Aired 80.
Yeah.
You've got your price point entry there. I spent a lot of time with the CC80. That was a reel that I really liked. I went through a few years ago in the budget Daiwa options looking for like your most solid reels. Because if people are going to jump in, if they're going to spend that money, they want a reliable reel that will do the most things. And I put a ton of time into that CC80. This Aired 80 is sort of taking that over. And I haven't had the time on the water with it yet, but this is one of the reels that I'm most intrigued by because of the price point it's in and what they were already building from. I really liked the reel that they worked from, and they're just upgrading here.
Very cool. Yeah, it looks great. It's gonna get you on the water at an affordable price point. You know, it's gonna handle braided line up to what, 40 pound, probably
absolutely.
pretty solidly.
Yeah.
I would say it's a good. You're gonna be able to fill your spool with 12, maybe 15, and get what you need to get done on the fluoro side, just that little compact size reel.
Oh, they're great. I think that 80 size reel for a guy who's just buying one reel to just try, right? To just bass fish with in general.
Yep.
That 80 size will do
A lot of
80% of what's on this table. It
Pretty
will.
much. And I think they're only like $89. It's
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great deal on it.
And you're getting a reel that's going to last multiple seasons too. It's not
Yeah.
junk. It's not going to break down. The drag's not going to go out.
Right.
So you're paying a little bit more money, but you're getting that longevity.
Yep. So we have one more reel to talk about from Daiwa, and we got a run through from Mills and Takeshi back at home base on this one, and I am super excited for this reel. And I said I wasn't big on lightweight.
Yeah, that just came out of your mouth. So go ahead and pull that back.
Oh my god,
But it is very
This is
nice.
like shocking when you pick it up. There's nothing there. It's so
so
light.
light.
It's
So
so
light.
buttery smooth. And what the hell are we talking about here? It's the Luvias, the brand new Daiwa Luvias spinning reel. Tell us all about this.
This thing is-
besides just looking badass.
Yeah, that matte black, it looks really good. But like he said, it's so light in the hand. And this is a finessey reel. So your lighter,
Yeah.
your lighter finesse techniques, if you're into panfish or crappie fishing, trout fishing, this thing it's so feather light. I think it's the lightest spinning reel on the
Oh
market.
yeah, they talked about that when we were
Something
at.
like that.
It was by, whatever the category is. You know, by category, it's the lightest per ounce reel. I mean, I think they've made like the rotor, the spool, and the frame. I believe it's like all that Zion carbon material, whatever the Daiwa material's name is.
Zion.
But it's all made out of that stuff, and that's why it's so light.
Yeah, don't quote me, but I think it's like 5.3 ounces or something like that. And even the Xzone is like 5.8. Like it is considerably lighter than some of the other reels in the category. But again, you're getting that Daiwa, that smooth, easy handle turn. Yeah, I'm really excited to put this on some light finesse drop shot setups and maybe do some panfish and trout fish.
If you look how shallow that spool is, that is going to be it's going to be a finessey reel. So don't
Not
don't
low line,
expect to
right?
fill it up with like 10-pound fluoro. This is going to be your braid to leader or ultralight line, maybe like 4-pound or something. You can get a cast worth on there, but you're definitely not putting big line on that thing.
Definitely a finesse geared reel. And we're talking performance, we're talking lightweight, we're talking beautiful looks. Everything Daiwa has in terms of technology has gone into this reel. It's a masterpiece. I'm gonna gush about it if I talk about it anymore.
Okay.
I'm really excited about that. Note, Daiwa, you have my address. Oh, shameless. All right. How about dirty jigs?
We can do
Oh
that.
yeah.
Okay. Let's tell
jump in
tell
here.
us what they got.
We got two of them here. These are the Weekender series. So most people are familiar with dirty jigs. Very high-end jigs, incredible components, just bulletproof jigs. What they've done now is they've created this Weekender series. Essentially what they've done is you're looking at the same exact styling of jigs, but they've got the eyes off the heads. They've gone to single tone paint, which saves a fortune in building the jig, and they're able to pass that down the line. VMC hooks in there, so they've still got really good hooks in them, but they've created a more budget-friendly set of jigs. So you've got your flipping jig, you've got your swim jig in that weekender series that is just easier for somebody to bite, right?
Right.
It's just easier to take that, load a box up with them, and not break the bank.
Sure.
Really solid option.
I talked about those things like a flip it jig. If you're flipping into dirty water or swimming a jig through dirty water, do you need the eyeball on there?
Right, yeah.
Or, it depends on how picky of an angler you are, if you really want a very specific hook in your jig or not. But you're getting a dirty jigs quality jig for a pretty nice price.
Yep. They carved out the savings where they could without sacrificing fishability.
Fishing
and
quality.
Yeah, I think they did a great job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really cool. And then
Next up, got this
up.
little guy right here. That is the Tungsten Guppy head. That is a 3/8 ounce head. So Gamakatsu hook in it. It's a super sharp hook. There's a whole Guppy line. We have the Guppy HD that's like a more of a
Tungsten compound.
yeah, but it has a more stout of a hook. This is more like the original Guppy hook, so light line. But that guy right there, again, 3/8 ounce. That's a real small head for the
pure tungsten head.
yeah, pure
Right.
tungsten.
Yeah.
So light line, clear water. If you're throwing your finesse swim baits, that guy right there. Really excited to be throwing that thing around too.
so some people might be watching this and thinking, oh wait, don't they already have a tungsten guppy head?
Right. So I
Right.
think there was a lot of confusion there. When they came out last year with that Tungsten HD, I don't think people realized that was the HD is heavy duty.
Yeah.
That was a step up in wire size on that hook. That's a much stronger hook. Now you've got a pure tungsten with more of that traditional guppy profiled hook, that lighter,
lighter wire.
fine wire, super needle point hook for finesse fishing.
Yeah. Valley guy, I know this is
Yes.
gonna just like
Yeah.
warm your heart to hear, but there are times where you want to put that, let's say, a 2.8 Kitech on.
Oh, yeah.
And you want a heavy enough head to fish it deep, but you don't want a gigantic head with
Right.
a little tiny swim bait,
Right.
right? And so that's
Yeah.
going to fill this niche.
No, that's a great option. And I mean, if you go on to Tackle Warehouse and you look at most of the tungsten heads we got, most of them are just going to be like a chrome ball head. Now you get that pure tungsten with the details on it, with the eyes.
eyes,
It's going to be
paint
great
jobs.
for clear water.
Really cool. All right, glad to see that. So that's it from Dirty Jigs. Let's touch on some storage. How about that?
Let's do it.
Buzbe. I know Buzbe has been a favorite for you guys.
Yeah.
They got a couple of additions here, huh?
Yeah, just size additions with these. It's the same thing, two different sizes. So Buzbe, if you're not familiar, their boxes are made for all the bins in them to be interchangeable. So you can take them out, switch them, rearrange them, and get that box in the shape that you want. Sorry for all the commotion. But now they've got these slotted foam boxes for terminal. So you can keep your baits. One of the things about these bins, they're rigid, right? So when you're taking your terminal and putting them in there, they're sliding around. Now you've got a foam option where you can take them and keep that stuff really organized in your box. And then again, they've got them in different sizes. The best thing about a Buzbe box is you've got a little spot, you pop that out, change your bins, and you're putting in exactly what you want. So you've got a bunch of ways to do that.
Yeah, it's great for, if you're a guy that wants to put some spare trebles in there, some jig heads or hair jigs. You just pop that stuff in there between the foam, and it keeps it all nice and orderly. And again, being able to be able to pop this in, pop it out, change out the different inserts in the box is what makes Buzbe so special. And then over here we got some.
Hang on a sec. What? I just want to take a dig at Matt. Why did we let Matt talk about the most meticulously organized piece of
switch it up every once in a while,
tackle
yeah.
organization here? I
I've
mean, this is
heard
really
that people do
this is a situation
Down.
of
Three of us.
3/4 of
Yeah.
the table do things one way and 1/4 does it the other way. Sorry, not sorry.
So you can also take all your hooks and just pile them in here and just stick it in the box.
It's a nice tray for all your hooks.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Now we can move along. Okay. Long overdue. Plano Stowaway's iconic boxes finally got an update. Tell us
Yep.
all about that.
Yeah, single hand can open it. Again, rust stricter is the technology that Plano uses. It's built into the plastic, so it helps from getting your expensive baits, your hooks, all that rusted. But again, lots of dividers, lots of adjustability. So you can make this a terminal box. You can make it your whatever, topwater, crankbait, whatever. But again, being able to operate this with one hand, close it, lock it up, seal it tight, waterproof. Just really, really impressed. Comes in 2 sizes. That's the 37.
Comes in a lot of sizes.
Yeah, that's the 36 right there. And then right here, sit there and label. I don't know if you
they
label your stuff or
updated
not, but I do.
Well, I mean, I label some of my stuff. Junk goes in one. But seriously, you've got waterproof, you've got standard boxes. You don't have to go cutting all your dividers anymore.
That's huge.
That is.
That's what I wanted to point out. The dividers are pre-cut.
Yes.
I just bought a bunch of these. I was reorganizing the garage a couple weekends ago, and I'm a huge believer in that rust restrictor material too. I've been storing all my saltwater stuff in that for the last few years, and it actually works really well.
Yep. Label maker. I'm a label maker.
Oh,
guy.
he does have a nice
I used to make
label maker.
labels, but now with the new,
Now you can just
write on there with
write on
a fine Sharpie. You can wipe it off, change it if you need to.
Yeah.
That's a killer little box.
Awesome. Well, glad to see. Long overdue, like we said. Update on the Plano stowaways. All right, let's jump back to baits. Let's talk about Swimbait. You guys are
look at
kind of
that.
known as Swimbait guys, so tell us all about that guy.
thing. So from Bucca brand, we actually have 2 things that came from them. We were only able to get our hands on one at the moment, but last year they came out with a 6-inch bull shad. Now they're adding the 8-inch bull shad to that lineup. The 6-inch, I mean, we've done a lot of damage. Oh, trick shad, bull shad, trick shad. You're right.
They did come out with
5-inch
bull shad.
bull shad
6 and
also
8-inch
came out.
trick shad.
Trick shad. So that's your 8-inch trick shad. And this year we did a ton of damage with the 6. I was really excited when we walked in and saw the 8 sitting there. That's a great move. Now you're talking about a full-size glide bait. It's a proven bait. I mean, so many people have smashed them on the Buccas. And then for that to be brought over to the Bucca brand, where that's now a fully available bait, right? That's one of the
Readily
things.
available.
The Buccas that's a custom bait. You've got to go to shows, you've got to stand in lines. Now you can go to a tackle shop and just get them in the colors you want. That's a big deal. But again, the 6-inch, I wrecked shop with that thing this year. So I was really excited when I walked in and saw this. And then same thing, they did bring the 5-inch bull shad as well, which is one of the most famous swim baits nationally of all time. I mean, that's just a bait that so many people have picked up and crushed fish on, and now you can get it everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially Tackle Warehouse.
Especially Tackle Warehouse. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Got you.
Just going to be mean to you this entire video.
It's an 8-inch bait. It's an 8-inch glide bait, and it's at a price point that doesn't necessarily break the bank. If you're a guy shopping for custom glide baits and you're looking at 8-inch glide baits, you're going to spend a lot of money. But you're getting swiveling hook hangers, you're getting good paint jobs, baits that aren't going to break. They swim true. Really excited about that bigger profile for the glide bait.
Well, I know you guys have custom glide bait problems, as do I. I spend a lot of money on getting stuff that you can't buy at tacklewarehouse.com. But I also, great sell, right?
Hey, we're all fishermen.
But there is something to be said. Gary Dobbins used to say, don't fish chicken, right? And it's like when I'm throwing that Hinkle trout that I spent $500 on, you don't
want to cast it off. You
exactly. Like you fish it a little different than you're going to fish something where, hey, if you break it off, you're going to be sad, but you can go get another one.
Right.
You're for sure fishing this one more aggressively, and you're probably more willing to step down in line size and make a little bit more risks, and probably actually get more bites.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will say, as you know, as we transitioned east across the country, the actual gizzard profile, that taller shad profile, and there are a lot of fisheries where it matters. You can take traditional glides and force them in and you will catch fish, but then you pick up a bait and it almost doesn't matter which one. If it's actually in the profile of what those fish are used to, you get so many more bites. It's a big difference.
Well, and we've seen on the West Coast for us that gizzard shad profile glides draw them and get bites just fine without fish that have never seen a gizzard shad.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So really cool. Bucca brand. We spent a lot of time on this one. You guys were excited about it.
Hey, it's a good one.
Okay. Let's go opposite, right? We know you guys are big spoon guys. I've tried to chase
Spoon guy.
You're a spoon guy. I've tried to chase your spoon bite. I can't do that. But you guys have made a lot of believers, caught people, probably hundreds of thousands of fish in your spoon tutorials over the years. So tell us all about this brand new Nichols spoon.
This is an exciting one. So this from Nichols, this is the DUH 2.0. And what they've done is taken that traditional DUH spoon and simplified it. Added swiveling hangers on both ends. The things that we were already taking the DUH spoon out of the package and doing to it, adding that feathered treble, just cleaned that thing up. New colors that are going to work nationally a little bit better. They've just solved a lot of the problems and really narrowed it down too. So all of the DUH spoons now have that more narrowed profile, just like this one. It's just a size range. And then probably the biggest thing is that they added the 3/8 and the half. This is the 1/2 ounce. So there's one even smaller than that one. So now they have a full size range with them as well. Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly.
Yeah. We've all been on those bites where they're just keyed on those smaller bait fish. And being able to throw a spoon that gets down, that's still heavy, but it's that smaller profile is key. And then having the dual, swivels on there, that was just something that we were doing, putting an extra split ring on there, adding that swivel to get away from that line twist, because as that bait's falling, it's just wrapping your line. So that's huge. Yeah, it's we're really excited to play around that.
Joey's not excited because he's never been out in the middle of January and seeing the fish in 75 feet.
Just climbing all over each other to get to it.
Oh, that is nice.
Just go to the bank in January. You go to the bank every month.
Not everywhere. These are nice though. I like that little guy.
It's beautiful. Also, it has annoyed me in the past, like not being able to get the same profile. Also, anything where I need to buy a product and then spend 10 minutes customizing it before
after the fact.
Or you guys talk about them and they're always sold out.
Yeah.
Sorry,
they work really well.
Yep.
Extremely well.
So Nichols, brand new, DUH 2.0.
Yep.
Check them out. Fall, winter, coming soon. Let's just reach right past there. We got some new stuff from Missile, right? A new Minnow head and a new Minnow. Tell us all about these guys.
Yeah, this is the Freedom Flyer. This is a 4.25 and a 6-inch. It's in that Minnow category. Has a open, like, what do you want to call it? Like just a
belly slot,
like a slot. Belly slot. This can be fished as a minnow. It's got wings on the tail. One thing that we found, especially fishing the Tennessee River, is speed kill. So something that you can burn, having that tail action, that swimming action, you're not necessarily sitting there having to shake it like a lot of the strolling minnows.
So you just like wind it in and then killing it?
You can wind it and kill it and get that thing going, but you could also do that strolling shimmy or that shake, right? Getting it going side to side. But 2 different size minnows there from Missile Baits. And then they also added the eye roll, their head to go with it, which is I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's a solid ring already on the face of that line tie, which allows for that head to move freer to get that bait going side to side, which is key when you're sitting there shaking that rod tip, trying to get that bait to go side to side. So the eye roll and the Freedom Flyer, both new this year at ICAST 2025.
And if you get the jig head, you don't have to learn how to tie a loop knot. It's nice.
So one thing about the loop knot too is loop knots are very low. I don't care which one you're tying.
Right.
Yes, they are.
Very low strength knots.
Yep.
That's something I learned from live bait fishing in the ocean at a very early age. Was if you can get away with a straight tie, your clinch knots, your Palomars, those are going to be way closer to 100% of your line breaking strength. Your weakest point is going to be your loop knot. So if you can instead go for something with
a welded ring. And same thing coming from saltwater. When you're trying to find a little circle hook to fly line bait, typically trying to find one with a ring on it to allow your bait to swim a little more freely, just gets you more bites.
Right.
Yeah, one of the other benefits of having that welded ring is it's not a true split ring, so there's no opening.
There's no
for your line
to get stuck in there.
That's such a pet peeve of mine when I look at my bait and my line is wedged between that opening of the split ring. I know it's down there just.
I'm cutting that off.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That is also a pet peeve of mine. All right, we're gonna get stuck on this welded ring for a long time.
It's very important.
We'll keep going.
Yeah, just one piece on the Minnow, just really interesting. We've seen people add wings. We haven't seen wings on the tail like that.
And I haven't seen that that shape is totally unique. I haven't seen that one yet.
So it is more bulbous, Dan, if you can get that. A little more bulbous down at the bottom, right in front of the wing. I haven't thrown this thing, but I'm really interested to.
Yeah.
I think I've bought every minnow on the market, and this is not going to be an exception.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks different. Like I said, I think it'll be great shaken, but it'll also be good when you're playing that takeaway game and burning it.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's move to our friends at Megabass, and this is something I know you guys are excited about. Let's first talk about Giant Dog X and Karashi, and then we can go to the crankbait.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this was a really fun project that Matt and I got to work on with Megabass and basically get to design our own colors with Megabass. There were some things that we felt were missing in the lineup. Megabass is known for that. Just having amazing colorways and all their baits. But we wanted a bone, we wanted some kind of chrome and some kind of bluegill. So we got to spend quite a while dialing these baits in and couldn't be happier with how they turned out.
Yeah, the whole thing started with the Karashis, right? The Karashi is such a viral bait right now. It's unbelievable how well these little guys fish, and that has spread. Everybody who tries them catches fish on them. So the thing has just caught fire, which caught the attention of Megabass. What are you talking over there?
He said, not me.
There's always one in every crowd. There's one. But seriously, it took off so hot that Megabass noticed, and we ended up in a conversation about it. One thing led to another, and here we are with these colors, which is awesome that these are being added to that Megabass lineup. And then Giant Dog X is not a new bait at all. It's one of Megabass's original topwater baits, but new life has been breathed into that bait. It is just such a fishy bait when it's calm conditions. There are a lot of baits that shine when it's chopped up and you're trying to catch their attention and pull them away from bait fish. But when you get up in the morning and it's glassy and it's smooth out there, a lot of baits are too much. And that's when that Giant Dog X just wrecks shop. And getting some of those colors essentially those three colors will do 90% of what you need to do, right? You've got a bait in that bone type category. You've got a true chrome type bait and then a juvenile gill. And for the sake of time, I won't even go down the rabbit hole of that juvie gill, but the amount of time that we put into dialing in that color, because we're so picky on those baby bluegill type colors, we're so happy with how those
There are a
turned
lot
out.
of really bad baby bluegills out there.
Yeah,
and
there's a ton of them.
There's a few really good ones.
Yeah, there are.
That's one of them. I know we're gonna have this conversation probably after the cameras turn off, so let's just have it right now. You don't need to sell me on the BFS stuff. I am a BFS fanboy. I love that stuff.
Yep.
It's super fun. It's brought joy back to my fun fishing. I own a couple of Karashis. I know you guys are huge fans. Jeff, our Megabass buyer, who I've fished with for years, dude, you got to throw this, Joey. And it's one of those things, I tied it on, I threw it in the water, I said, I don't get it. And I never tied it back on. Right. So give me the elevator pitch.
Okay.
Why Karashi?
Why Karashi? So Karashi is, obviously it's in a size profile that's very different. Fish haven't seen it. Around the country, fish are getting beat on, they're getting pressured, they're getting tougher to catch. That's a size profile they've never seen. Their guard is down. What makes it so special is the way you fire fish up with it. If you are slow fishing this bait, it catches fish. It will get them, but that's not the part that's special. It's when you speed that thing up as fast as you can twitch it, and you're almost burning that thing while you're twitching it. And you can do it on spinning or bait finesse, but you can do it faster on bait finesse. And that's why bait finesse is so key. When a fish decides they're committing to that bait, if they miss, they hit it again
Over and over
and
and over
again and again until they get it. And I just haven't run into other baits where once they're committed, the response is like that. Like there's plenty of baits that they blow up on and miss and they're gone.
Yeah.
I've never seen a bait where they climb over themselves to get back to it until they finally get it.
And I think maybe the situation, the location was where this bait didn't click for me. Schooling fish, the same places you're going to throw a topwater.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, but like bluff walls, if you're fishing Oroville or Shasta, shade lines, when you're walking this thing, it's just like a sub walker basically. And these fish are climbing over. Anywhere you're around fish, when they start chasing that thing, and we noticed that we were in a clear water marina, 30-foot viz, parked watching giant smallmouth swim around. They wouldn't touch. Highly pressured fish, wouldn't touch anything. We pulled that out and single-handedly caught every fish we saw. It's just something they haven't seen. And so if you're fishing bluff walls, you're fishing even main lake points, that sort of stuff, it's just a erratic bait fish. And when there's fish around, they're gonna eat it.
But if I was going to describe like your perfect scenario, fish that are lethargic, they're not responding to other things in less than 8 feet of water.
Okay.
Fish are up shallow, you burn that on them, and something happens.
You see Charlie over there taking notes. 8 feet of water, bluff walls.
Lay down bluff walls, yeah.
The question is always what color, how deep, right?
All those colors. Those are the colors.
Glitz shad.
All right, really cool. Thanks for the tutorial. I'll give it another shot, I promise.
You made me buy because you came in and you're like, Matt and Tim said this is the deal. I'm like, I'm going to go back there right now. Get it.
We do have one more item from Megabass.
That eye-by-eye blowleaf, that's a really interesting little square bill crankbait. Megabass has a lot of shallow cranks. I don't feel like they have anything else like this. This is it's got a little bit of a rolling action to it as you're fishing it. It's really unique. The water's able to pass through it, through the head, come out the gills. Honestly, I don't know what the tech is behind all that. I have no idea what that portion of it's for. What I found with this bait is two things. I'm able to fish it really shallow, really fast. It burns really well in under 2 feet of water. So like I instantly go back to Clear Lake.
I was going to say,
instantly, right?
Clear
You're
Lake,
thinking
right?
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that situation. And then what is most unique about this is every time I would stall it, the bait has like a wobble to it, and then it settles down and rises. And it's got that whole secondary thing going on that I was not expecting. And I have not jumped into the tech of the bait to understand why, but you can visibly see it every time you stop that bait. It's got a whole extra thing getting those fish to eat.
So Megabass fans, fact check me here, because this is probably fake news, but
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know what the hole's for.
No, I think I do.
Okay, so what I heard was the water goes in and it helps it maintain depth throughout the cast. I mean, not much depth, but maintain that depth without wanting to rise as your line angle gets more and more vertical.
That, and I think it's supposed to also, the force of the water shooting out the bottom is supposed to kind of make it lift and almost counteract the bill, and that's why it doesn't go as deep. So I think, but we're probably wrong, and we're going to get blasted on the internet.
Just
It works.
Standing back, I heard stays deeper and doesn't go down. So I'm not sure which one of those is how it works, but it's definitely doing something.
This is just one of those, like, it's giving me those curiosity vibes.
Right.
Oh, just look at that thing. There's nothing else out there like
Yeah.
it.
No.
And it's, anything that tickles that Clear Lake in the fall.
Yeah,
it just makes me feel nice.
That-
One
super shallow-
test cast, I knew what that bait was
They
for
got it
for
in
me.
sharp blue.
Yeah.
They do have it in Corey. Sharp blue, your favorite.
10, please.
Yeah, that super shallow
Yeah.
square bill thing is kind of it's a category that doesn't have a lot of baits in it. And we're
Right.
going back to Clear Lake in the fall, right? When they're up there pushing back shad, super shallow, in less than a foot of water, just looks like sharks chasing seal, just shad flying everywhere. Having a square bill that you can throw up there, keep it above the grass,
So many baits run 3 to 5. Almost nothing runs less than 2 when you actually get down to it.
And we're gonna get totally sidetracked on this. We already are. But for me, that category of 2 foot and under, you only have so many choices. So there's only so many sizes. A lot of them are very micro to the point where you got to throw them on really light line. This you can get away with something a little heavier. Also, some of them have weirder actions or wider actions or weird rattles, or like the stock hooks are too small. So I'm just really happy to have another
Dialed in
option
bait,
in that category, because that's a category that's near and dear to my heart, your heart, your heart.
Yep.
Everyone. Oh, and we're not.
Even you?
I like crankbaits too. And we're not at home. We're not at home shaving the bills down on baits and
Right.
customizing and just to try to get a bait to run. That's going to be a sweet one to try out.
Okay, we got to move on
will
from
stop.
this. We got to move. We got to tell you, we still got some minnows left, so I don't want to make it an all minnow affair. Before we do that, let's talk about new SEVIIN bait caster, right?
Yeah, this is a cool one from SEVIIN Reels, a company that came out a couple years ago. It's a single piece aluminum frame. It's got internal and external braking system on there and a carbon fiber handle. So really smooth. Again, it's nice to have other players in the reel game. It just ups the competition. But yeah, it doesn't break the bank. I think this thing's around 200. I mean, don't quote me on it.
Yeah,
200,
it's
220
around that. I don't know
grams.
the exact number, but I know you're right there.
Yeah,
in the ballpark.
220 maybe. But again, having a single piece frame,
Yeah.
better rigidity, better longevity. But yeah, that thing, excited to throw that, spool that thing up.
And they
throw it.
put that little hook keeper on the handle. I like that.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
So like, some other companies like Luz, they have that little keeper that pops out, which
Right.
is, whenever I saw that, I'm like, that's pretty genius to have that instead of tearing up your reels. I know I'm super picky about like hooking, putting hooks on the reels and tearing stuff up. I don't like doing it. I was like, I have this nice
I
$400
get
reel.
so upset
He
about it.
gets so
Yeah.
mad.
So upset about
Yeah,
it.
so I mean,
I
just
do it to all his reels.
doesn't matter. Every single one of Joey's reels is like that. And he's got hooks on it. But just little features like that. It's cool to see
Thinking outside
someone.
the
Yeah,
box.
it's someone thinking outside the box on it.
I'm sure I've done that to your reels, and you probably just bit your tongue.
I just
Like,
go ahead and move them over. It's all good.
Yeah.
I do make a mental note though.
Yeah. Really cool. This, a lot of cool design went into this reel, and again, another player in the reel market certainly does not hurt the consumer.
Yeah, that's the GX, I think, right? That's the that's the new model.
GX. Yeah. Very cool. All right, 7 reels. We gotta get back to some minnows. Xzone.
That was a long time without a minnow.
That was a long
we had
time
to get
without a
back.
minnow.
But these ones, we got these ones.
2 sizes.
Sure, we can cover them.
Knock 'em
So
out,
Xzone came out with the Rally Shad. You got a 3.75, and then you've got that 4.5. Xzone makes incredible soft plastics, extremely soft. It's just a fork tail, but it's a flat fork. So if you're fishing it really tight line and shaking it, you're getting that body roll. If you're hitting it faster, you're getting that tail flowing behind the bait. A very simple bait overall, but Xzone does an amazing job of pouring different blends of plastics in all of their baits to get them as neutral as possible. So the bait sits really well in the water, and then they've got amazing colors. I mean, overall, it's a simple bait. I've already caught a bunch of fish on it. I've already had it out on the water and creamed them with this thing. But simple bait in very proven colors that floats really well mid-depth.
Yeah.
Very good bait. All right, next up, we got 2 additional sizes of the Crush City Freeloader. We got a 5.25 and a 6.25. We talked about it a little bit earlier in this video. If you're on a fishery that has bigger bait fish, gizzard shad, bigger shad, being able to throw a minnow that a little bit larger can produce bigger bites. So we all know how well the Freeloader fishes, how much money it's won. Having a lineup of different size baits in that Freeloader line is awesome.
We had a little discussion about minnow fishing. Yet another discussion about minnow fishing. I've really struggled to master the minnow. And actually it's, the Freeloader, not that it's some big secret, it's the least secret minnow out there. But it's one that I've got confidence in. I'm really excited to see 2 new sizes in it.
Yeah.
And we don't have the samples here, but mooch minnow too.
Yep,
Has-
smaller
has
moose
been-
minnow as well. Yeah.
And to pair with it, you got anything to say about this minnow? Or
I'm just stoked to see more sizes, especially bigger ones, because around locally where we live, a lot of scrounger enthusiasts, and just having bigger baits or more offerings to throw on the scrounger, and it's cool to see that category kind of making a resurgence as well. Scrounger fishing. You don't have to use 6 pound.
I got to say too, with and this is something near and dear to all of our hearts, something we've already talked about, but there's not a lot of good options for a trailer for that big blade chatterbait that we talked about,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
big Freeloader could
Oh, I
certainly
didn't
be-
think about
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
That's a good
Oh, I
option.
thought about that, man. So, on to confidence. for me at least, the hybrid VMC hybrid head that they've already come out with. Screw lock is not my favorite. I'm really excited to see a different keeper. This is the new Minnow shaker head from VMC. Going to pair great with any of those Minnow style baits.
Yep.
Right. The most interesting thing about this head is that keeper, that hand-tied keeper. This is something that we have quietly seen on anglers' boats, right? We've seen people do this by hand. First time I saw it, I will never forget, because there's how many times have you been out and you want to play with a bait, you don't have the right hook, and you're like, well, we'll just thread it on here with no keeper. Whether it's a spinner bait or it's a single hook or anything else, your bait's sliding down all day. And the first time I watched a guy whip up a little fluoro tie and put a bait on it and fish it all day, I was like, what did I just see? And that, like, I haven't melted the goo away to be sure it's identical, but I swear it looks like the exact same thing. That thing has so much holding power and almost no weight. Yeah. So you're staying weight totally forward. It's not a lead keeper, it's a fluoro keeper. So it's very interesting. It's very different. It's very unique. It's very innovative. And I was really happy to see that on a bait at the show.
Sure. You know, I mean, that's something that at least I first saw from Aaron Martins, Jeff from Tackle Warehouse, and I have been, you know, tying that on whether we've
on shaky heads,
on flipping hooks, for saltwater stuff. So this is a style keeper that is personally for me a pain in the butt to tie, but it's so effective for so many reasons. Like
I'm so super stoked about that keeper, because the only time you ever see that is someone doing it themselves, customizing it. So I can't imagine the manufacturing nightmare it took to get that done. So it's cool that that's going to be out there available. You can buy it from the factory now, which is great.
All right, VMC, a Minnow shaker jig head. I think those are not coming till Minnow time. November, December.
It's always Minnow time.
I know, it's always Minnow time. All right, we touched on this one real quick, but Big Bite Sensation. I don't know what they're calling this, but it's a fuzzy something.
It's a fuzzy something. What do they call it?
Sensation
The
stick?
Sensation stick. Yeah. But again, it's another it's another fuzzy bait. Okay, again, has that skirt material through the bait. You know, this really became popular. I think Michael Neal he won a tournament, I think.
Isn't that the bait he was like hand making?
I believe so, cutting them down and putting the skirt material through there. And then I think that's where the world really saw it. We've been doing it for a long time, but again, the Sensation stick with the skirt material falls right in that whole fuzzy category that is really big at this year's show.
Yeah, and that plastic's got that plastic's got the like scent that's in
Sensation,
it, you know, like a Mac scent or a bait fuel, like it's already pre-scented for you. It's pretty cool.
You're gonna make Tim blush if you talk about his fuzzy Sensation stick. we'll edit that part out. Maybe not. Let's move on to Great Lakes Finesse. Just some really fun, innovative, smart, really different, like whatever you want to say about it. It's not like anything else out there. Right. So tell us all about this new stuff from Great Lakes Finesse.
Yeah, basically they were one of the first companies to come out with like that real like kind of matte finish on the soft plastics. And then they got some really realistic, this is their little tube craw. I've caught some really big smallmouth on their little, it's I call it a tube craw because it's hollow inside, and they actually have a tube head that they make for that little guy right there, but it's a really stout hook. So I've caught like 6.5 pound smallmouth on these guys. But what they've done this year is shrunk everything down and really come out with some really small presentations for those guys right there.
Yeah, you've got a company that's known for making super finessey plastics, clear water fishing, right? They're a Great Lakes, originally a Great Lakes brand that has spread from there, but designed for that super clear water, light line. And now that company with that reputation was like, just kidding, we're going way smaller with all of our popular profiles.
Yeah, I think when these came out, either last year or the year before, and they were only like a 2.5 or 2.2 size, and now they're 1.7.
Smaller, yeah.
way smaller. That little tiny tube head is awesome. I mean, you can put that into so many different things.
Because it's got such a stout hook
It
too.
does have a big hook in it, man.
Yeah, you're not going to bend that out.
Yeah.
Let me see that thing too. I'm going to show you a trick for this one. Dude, this.
Ooh, secrets.
This is the secret for this one. If you're around cover, looks silly, dude, it's deadly. It is a weedless rig on that little guy. It looks silly. It hooks up so well. So much of what we do when we're smally fishing, you know, you've got rock, you've got zebra mussels, you've got wood, you've got junk. And when you tuck that little hook inside that tube, you can fish it through all that stuff.
That's really
Yeah, the little micro versions of their already awesome baits are really cool. I'm excited to throw this around. Again, pressured fish, right? We're always downsizing. Yeah, that little guy right there is cool too.
You know, so as longtime bass anglers, all of us, right? We're talking about how small this is, how tiny it is, how down, you know, it's downsized from downsized. But how often do you see those antennas sticking out of the fish's mouth and you take your pliers
And that's
pull
what they
it,
look
and
like.
that's what they're eating.
Right.
And it's in the mouth of a 6-pound largemouth.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, it really looks teeny tiny, but like that's the forage that a lot of really big fish are feeding on. So, you know, we need that gut check every once in a while.
Right.
That our big jig is not necessarily the size of the forage. So really cool. All right, Great Lakes Finesse. We have one more set of reels, Shimano.
Yep.
You want to do that first?
Sure, we forgot this one.
Okay.
What is this? The Duo Realis, the
Mito Pico.
Yep.
That thing
Just
came in.
send her down the table.
We,
Not
dude,
from this
I mean,
one.
we got that thing a few weeks ago, and we're in the middle of. I'm in the middle of the ICAST fog, and I saw the bait. I'm like, that looks really cool. I have to keep going. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
It's a really interesting bait. What you've got is a bait. We got a lot of minnows here, right? This is, to my knowledge, the first forward-facing, strolling minnow-type hard bait. That's what it was designed for. But I'll tell you from my own fishing, it's so much more than that. So it's a very interesting bait. If you've got a jig hook on top that comes out, that thing will swivel, but it sits down in a little groove and it stays perfectly on the back of that bait. If you are strolling, like mid-strolling this thing, like it's a minnow bait, you're doing it on your lighter stuff, so 4 to 6 pound, and you're strolling that thing, it's rocking just like your best minnows. But if you fish it faster, if you fish it harder, it's hinged, but it's not hinged side to side, it's top to bottom. So this bait's rocking top to bottom as it's coming through the water. If you kill it to bottom, it sits upright on the bottom with that tail up. It is a really neat bait. So certainly you can stroll with this thing. You can play that game, get it to rock. But for me, way faster fishing, popping and working that thing really fast. If your fish have seen a lot of top waters, if your fish have seen a lot of your traditional hard baits, but you're trying to get them to react, to pull them away. We see a lot of fish on the Tennessee River this time of year that are chasing, but you're also the 300th boat that has been by them.
Yeah.
A bait like that that's just different, that you can fish fast. The fish are up, you know where they are, you just can't get them to react. It's completely different, and you can do it on really light line.
Yeah. You know,
That's
I
a
mean,
neat bait.
This has kind of been a bit of a theme of the conversation today, but showing the fish something different and
absolutely.
how important that is. And, you know, it's a blind spot in my fishing. This is something where I'm going to need to be shown the light. Someone's going to need to tell me, oh man, I really whacked him on it. Don't tell anyone, but you might want to buy one of those yourself. So hearing from you that has fished them, like the action on that is just different enough. You're giving them just a different enough look. And something that really appeals to me is that hook system on the back. That's like that owner replacement, single replacement for a treble, right? Once you get that fish pinned on that, you're putting it in the boat.
Right.
So a lot of thought went out of that. Really interesting, really different. Nothing like it.
I think that thing's
really
cool.
think
It's like you can almost have it, like, you know, have like a combo with this and like a Karashi, and you have those two completely different actions and really kind of pick apart the mood of the fish. And that, like you're saying, that they've not seen that thing before.
Definitely not. All right, last,
Yep.
Is that it?
but
think
certainly
so.
not least, is Shimano. Let's start with it's the Corrado. It's a new Corrado. 150 is now on the M platform.
Yep. So we've made it to the M, Corrado 150M. The biggest thing for that means you're seeing another step up, another upgrade in the MGL spool. You're now talking about the same MGL spool that is in the Metanium MGL being brought to the Corrado line, which is, now we already had that in the 200. They did that last year, but now you've got it in that 150 size. And the Corrado 150 was already out of this world for its price. To go to that MGL3 spool with this upgrade is phenomenal. That you almost can't say enough about it. Corrado, since we were kids, has been a benchmark, right? Just through the generations, that letter on the end changing, but through the generations, Corrado has just stood the test of time. And this M is arguably the best casting one of all time. I mean, that's all there is to it. The way you can send it with that MGL3 spool is incredible.
Yeah, any of these reels with the MGL spool in it they cast so far. Really excited to play around with this guy.
Yeah.
The 150 size obviously feels really good in the hand, a little bit smaller profile in the hand, but again, it's buttery smooth. And then again, castability, distance, that matters when you're fishing for pressured fish, right? You're trying to make a long cast. That should be fun to play with.
Yep. Jake, you and I have both had tons of Corrados over the years.
Every generation.
Yeah, every generation. Really excited to get my hands on this new one. For me, Corrado has always meant performance, durability, and not breaking the bank.
Yeah, right.
For me, I break a lot of stuff. So having something that's going to stand up to abuse is really important.
Yeah, totally. And the 150 is going to be probably your best all around. If you're just going to get one reel that can do the majority of stuff.
Yeah.
The 150 is going to be your best option.
Call it 12 to 17 pound. You're going to be able to do it all. You're going to be able to flip with it if you want to. Super all-purpose reel. All right,
Spinners.
on to spinning. Let's start with Xzone.
Yeah, the new Xzone. This is Shimano's flagship reel in the finesse line, right? On the power side, you have the Stella. The Xzone, it's a little bit heavier than that Daiwa we talked about earlier. Buttery smooth, has a whole new drag system. They're calling it rapid fire, and how it's been explained to us is basically one click on the drag is like a full 360 turn prior or with your other reel. So if you're a guy that's fishing light line and you just hook the biggest smallmouth of your life and you're sitting there trying to loosen line, being able to make those adjustments with just clicks at a time is going to be really fun to play around with. But again, the Xzone, so smooth, so light, a lot of bells and whistles. Like I said, this is their flagship finesse reel. So there's a lot of, MGL rotor. I'm not going to list everything, but that thing is really, really sweet. Again, it looks a lot like, it has that matte black with that chrome. We're seeing a theme in these reels, right?
Yeah.
Like it's really
little synergy with
Can I
Daiwa
jump in there with you?
go for it.
Xzone is awesome. You have to have something to add, right? These reels are incredible. So Tim already touched on it. It's in that MGL family, which if you're familiar with Shimano, hopefully you already know, you may not. There are two families of spinning reels within Shimano. You've got your core solid reels, which are like your power reels. You've got your MGL spools, which are that finessier family of reels. They have faster startup. They're really good for things like strolling and other finesse games. That rapid fire drag that he's talking about. I'm one of those people who likes my drag tight so that I could jack that hook set. But the second you do, you've got to be in there to dial that thing back. So being able to do that with just a click or two is a big deal. The biggest thing for me with Xzone is size. They have never offered a 2500 before in Xzone until right now.
Right.
That is a slam dunk. That needed to happen.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm definitely I like to set hard on spinning tackle.
Yep.
But then it's too hard once you get up and down with the fish. And I can't stand hearing this is a pet peeve. I think of a lot of people right now. You watch anybody with a minnow and there's reeling.
Drag's going and they're reeling. Yeah.
Just twisting line.
I can't, just twisting line. Can't handle it. Whatever. They're pro fishermen.
Yeah, or stripping line off at the boat. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, beautiful looking reel, excellent performance, top tier performance.
Yeah, flagship reel.
Right. So
I'm 100% forgetting about the drag and clicking it too far and breaking one off. Locked.
You gotta do it once, right?
there might be a learning curve on that one.
There,
but
I'm 100%
you know,
is
it's
going
in the
to
name
be.
of efficiency for your top tier anglers there.
Yeah.
Speaking of top tier, for me, since we were kids, Sustain has been a powerhouse.
Yeah, Sustain is right there in that finesse line with the Xzone. It's a price point down. Again, you have a lot of those top tier technologies coming down to those lower price point reels. So if you're a guy that doesn't have the higher price point in your budget, the Sustain is a workhorse, but it doesn't feel like it. It is buttery smooth, a lot like the Xzone. It's a little bit heavier, but you get a lot of those bells and whistles of the higher price point reel down in the Sustain. But I like the looks of it. Completely new look of the Sustain. What do you got to add on that?
Well, just like Twin Power is to a Stella, that's what Sustain is to an Xzone, right? So you're saving significantly if you go with the Sustain, but you still get the feel and you still get so many of those insanely high-end features. This particular Sustain has that same drag in it, but it's not the rapid fire. So it's going to adjust like a normal drag, but the drag components themselves are those same super high-end components.
New drag.
The biggest thing with Sustain is this is the price point I feel like where if a guy has ever wanted to experience, how the other people live, right? That like super high-end thing. In that MGL family, that's the step. When you get to Sustain, you're like, we're there now.
You feel the
You have
difference.
now experienced ultra high end. You're still doing that and still saving a bunch of money over the crazy high end, but you've arrived there. You take an X Pride, throw a Sustain on it, you're in a top tier combo. I don't care what you put it up against, but you're doing it at half price. And that's a big deal.
Really cool. You touched on the cosmetics and the trickle down, and there's some synergy there because to me, this really harkens back to Stella of a couple generations ago.
Right,
Like,
absolutely. It looks like
It
that,
totally
yeah.
looks like a Stella from a few
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tons of features and pay about half of what you would get on an Xzone.
Right.
Totally.
And then last one,
Now there was one.
the new Nasi.
Hot potato.
Break it down.
I don't have as much to add at Noski. What I will say about Noski is it's that same thing. It's the trickle down of your technologies, right? Without sitting here and listing, I mean, we could read the tech off of the label, but the reality is Noski at 109, I think is where these are at now. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a reel that is so superior to the $200 and $300 reels that I used to steal from my dad when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. At $100 now, the tech blows away what used to be high-end reels. They're incredibly smooth. The power transmission in a Noski is amazing. You have tons of power. The ability to just winch fish on that thing is a big deal. Single piece bail, which is not a huge thing to a lot of people, but it is a big deal. You'll never catch line in the joint on that bail. That's a major upgrade from the last generation to this one. But the last generation of Noski was phenomenal for the price. And we're seeing several more technologies trickle down into this one. Completely different look and feel in this one. It's like a copper and blue, where the last one was like a gunmetal. Completely different. I didn't know that was coming. So I had heard through the grapevine that Noski was coming, but I hadn't laid eyes on it until we got to the show. And it looks good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, for $100 or $109, whatever they are, this thing is just a workhorse. Like Matt said, it's got that infinity drive, so it's just, you could crank on this. So if you're a guy that's fishing for, a lot of guys, they only have one or two spinning setups. They have a bunch of bait casting setups, but they only have one or two. And if you're a guy that's fishing for,
Big
steelheads
cats or
and big
stripes.
catfish, or if you need something that has power, that is an awesome reel that you're going to have longevity. It doesn't break the bank, and like Matt said, a lot of those technologies are trickling down to a price point that is, like you said, years ago. I mean, you're getting so much more in this at $100, $110 than you did in those $200 and $300 reels from years ago. Right. That thing is just a cool looking, powerful workhorse.
That's funny. You both mentioned that, and I'll triple down on that point. It's like we could have only
We would have
could
been
vote-
happy as that as a flagship,
As a
not
flagship.
very long ago.
Right.
Yep. So incredible performance, great price, good looking, going to handle a multitude of species and applications. Great way to end that one. Get out and go fishing. Guys, any parting thoughts?
No, thanks for having us. This is fun. It's the second year of doing this. We're
Yep.
excited to come hang out, see you guys, check out all the new things at ICAST this year. I will say I was a little surprised. I thought it was going to be a full minnow show this year, but there's a lot
Not at all.
of diversity. There's
Yeah.
a lot of different techniques and baits, and really, really good show.
Sure.
Yeah, we agreed. Not as big of a minnow show as we expected, and we're stoked about the range of stuff we're gonna get to see this year.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm thinking about dinner. We
I'm
gotta
always
get on that
thinking
one.
about
All
dinner.
right. This has been Tackle Warehouse and Tactical Bassin at ICAST 2025. Thank you all for joining us.
See ya.